Stanley Kubrick, the name which in cinema represents perfection. Kubrick was famous for his obsessive attention in choosing his subjects, his slow method of working, the variety of genres he worked in, and his technical perfectionism. His idealistic view and approach toward filmmaking caused the creation of nothing but timeless classics. A director with over 40 years of experience in filmmaking, but only a few pieces which are considered both by audience and critics one of the best of their genres. If you ask anyone who has watched his films about their experiences and impressions of his works, they probably gonna react with words like shocking, fascinating, terrifying, innovative, disturbing, cinematic, unsettling, and such. But a heartbreaking impression is not something very common in Kubrick's filmography, or considered one of his most personal characteristics. But I'll argue Kubrick's sense of empathy for humanity is unmatched with the movie which I'm going to talk about. The movie is called Paths of Glory, an underrated dusted gem being heavily overshadowed by Kubrick's other more contemporary and groundbreaking movies. But I'll argue we can certainly put Paths of Glory in his most impactful works. Kubrick's concern over the topic of war can be vividly observed through most of his works, but I believe this movie's sympathy for humanity is incomparable among his other war movies. At first, before I explain the context, I should mention that I believe what's important about dealing with a movie is how was the movie rather than what was the movie. So personally, I don't mind spoilers, but anyways, spoiler alert for those who care. The movie starts with a heavy marching music. Then we see lines of soldiers marching in front of a command center, welcoming a car with carrying an important general. This makes our senses ready for a war movie. Then the narration starts, providing us with a brief information about the current ongoing war. In 1916, after 2 difficult years of trench warfare, the tension between Germany and France has escalated again, and France needs to take action to take over German trenches. In the next scene, the commanding officer named General Brulard visits his subordinate General Miru. Then we see the senior commander walking around his room, praising all the interior design and cosmetics he used in his commanding room. This sarcastically indicates, even in that such intense situation, how careless and irresponsible these men in charge are toward their own soldiers, people, and country. From this very first scene, Kubrick starts antagonizing these people in charge and their actions. After some talking, General orders his subordinate they should capture the German trenches at any cost. But General Miru argues doing such mission is an impossible task and he can risk his soldiers' lives for that. Then General Brulard offers him a huge rank promotion as a motive and threatens him to replace him if he isn't willing to do so. General Miru, after being threatened to be replaced by someone else, accepts the offer, even though he knows he won't be able to do it, just to not lose his position. After that, Miru commands his own subordinate, Colonel Dex, to plan the attack. Colonel Dex refused to do this attack at first because of not being doable, but after many back and forth, at the end he unwillingly plans to do the attack, but the plan does not go accordingly. It ends in disaster. Many of the soldiers die in the most pointless way. They couldn't even advance their own frontier. So many soldiers scared of this massacre, they refused to attack and the others started retreating. It was ending in an absolute failure, but the General Miru couldn't accept the reality. He commanded the artillery to bombard their own troops to leave their trenches and start attacking again, but the soldiers in artillery refused to obey his orders. General is mad of this incident To excuse himself for this disastrous failure, he blames the cowardness of the soldiers, just to show it wasn't his fault anymore. So he demands the court-martial of 3 random soldiers in order to be executed as the punishment, to justify his failure and save his own position. 3 innocent random soldiers were chosen from the troops. They got trialed in an extremely unfair court in the most unjust way possible, and they got executed. Let's hear about this scene from Martin Scorsese.
Walked in the middle, as we usually did when we were kids, in the middle of a movie, Paths of Glory. And myself and my friends who were kind of war film buffs, we had never seen anything quite like it. We never seen anything quite like the tone of it. We had seen other anti-war films, but this one was so honest, particularly the trial scene and the scenes between McCready and Kirk Douglas. It was shocking. And what made it even more shocking was the nature of the way it was shot. The use of the tracking camera in the trenches. There's something about an objective vision that's happening. They're trying to be objective, to just show you, hey, I'm just showing you this, man. You make up your own mind, but I'm telling you right now, this is what went down, and it's bad, and it's a lie, it's hypocrisy.
After the execution, General Brulard invites Colonel Dex to a meeting, praising him for his bravery for attacking and obeying the commands to do the attack, even though he knew it was impossible. Then he offers him the position of General Miru to replace him. Colonel Dex was sickened from all these nasty things he had to bear and witness through this system, and in the end, he rejected his offer in pure disgust. In the next scene, he was tired and heading toward his office. Then suddenly he hears chanting and screaming from the next door bar. Then he stands next to a window, watching his troops sitting in bar, drinking and listening to a showman.
Thank you. Now, gentlemen, we have a little special entertainment for you. Sort of a little diversion, as it were. And as my wife always says, what is life without a little diversion? And now, gentlemen, I give you our latest acquisition from the enemy. From Germany. Little pearl washed ashore by the tide of war. Sagt den Herrschaften guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
Hey, talk in a civilized language. It's true, the little lady has her limitations. As a matter of fact, she has absolutely no talent at all. Except that is, well, maybe a little natural talent. Can't dance, she can't tell any jokes, and she can't balance rubber balls on her little nose. But she can sing like a bird. She has a throat of gold. Come on, honey, sing us a song. Come on.
Ende mehr. Und als man ihm die Botschaft bracht, dass sein Herzliebchen im Sterben lag, Da ließ er all sein Hab und Gut und eilte seinem Herzliebchen zu. Da ließ er all sein Hab und Gut und eilte seinem Herzliebchen zu. Ach bitte, Mutter, bring ein Licht, mein Liebchen stirbt, ich seh es nicht. Das war früher ein treuer Husar, der liebt sein Mädchen ein ganzes Jahr. Das war fürwahr ein treuer Husar, der liebt sein Mädchen ein ganzes Jahr. Es war einmal ein treuer Husar, der liebt sein Mädchen ein ganzes Jahr, ein ganzes Jahr. Die Liebe nahm kein Ende mehr, ein ganzes Jahr noch viel mehr. Die Liebe nahm kein Ende mehr. Als man die Botschaft braucht, dass sein Herzliebchen nun sterben wird, da ließ er all sein Hab und Gut
Let's rewatch this scene again. Colonel Dex, tired, mad, with heavy mixed emotions, standing near the window, in a disappointed way watching his soldiers, how they have lost their sense of humanity and they don't care how 3 of their own people died for nothing. They are so synced in this game of war that they have forgotten how to be human anymore. Then the showman introduces the German girl as the souvenir of war, and they are going to enjoy her. Camera switches back to soldiers, showing how their loss is thrilled in such a messed up situation, how they have turned into animals. Then again, camera comes back to Colonel Dex, showing his deep despise and disgust over this matter. Then we see the German girl singing her beautiful song. This song washes the dirt from soldiers' souls, melts their metal hearts and breaks through their emotions. The soldiers' faces are suddenly shattered. Their forgotten sense of humanity has turned back. In their faces, we see how soldiers remembering their loved ones, their home, their memories. All the soldiers, from the most heartless ones to the most toughest looking, have tear in their eyes. The humanity within them has been revived by this song. When the singer girl saw this scene, she also smiled because she felt they also understand her and have empathy for her. The faces are telling a story of each soldier sitting there. When that song ends, we feel that free people and humanity are attached to each other. It doesn't matter if they are German or French, they both feel sympathy for each other. And those pigs are the ones who are our main enemies because they are anti-human and they are willing to do anything for their own interest. Throughout this whole movie, we don't even see Germans once. The way movie depicts the war, Germans attacking is like a natural disaster which happens for us. Only happens. The real enemy and antagonist here are these corrupted politician pigs. Path of Glory explores politicians' lust for power and their hypocrisy and willing to do anything to maintain their position and to fulfill their own selfish wishes at any cost. A corrupted system which doesn't even have compassion for its own soldiers. Then, camera comes back to Colonel Dex. When he sees their hearts melt like this, he sympathizes with them. That's where Colonel finds hope and humanity again and smiles. In next scene, a soldier called the colonel for another attack, and the colonel returned to war for what he believed was right. Thanks for watching. Please share your experience from this video in the comments, and to experience more content like this, give us a sub. Experience with classics. Goodbye.